Hello everyone and welcome back to Green Dragon Kung Fu. Now, as you might already know, I kind of gravitate more towards practical applications, practical weapons, and practical fighting techniques. And sticks are quite practical, easy to carry in your car, and quite legal. Also, when you get the hang of working with sticks, you'll find that oftentimes you may find things within reach that could be used as a weapon, if needed. Now we're going to embark on a series of videos starting from the basics and working our way up into combinations and different drills and a bit of freestyle stick practice. But in today's video, I'm going to dedicate the time to showing you all how you can make your own very inexpensive, very easy to make, and very useful stick fighting training tool. Okay, here we go. I'm going to take you through it step by step. Anybody can do it. So let's get started. All right, so here we go. I'm going to build a two-tire apparatus that will allow you to practice your stick techniques and strikes. These tires will last forever, a lot longer than your sticks. So first thing you've got to do is, of course, get a couple of tires. So I went down to a local tire shop. I just asked them if I could get a couple of their discarded tires. Now, in addition to that, I want to get a couple of these. They're just eye hole loops, and so that you can put them into the tire. And you'll need a couple of these to mount them up into the ceiling. And some of these carabiners, or some other way to attach your tires to a chain. Now, one other item you're going to need is something like so. This is to join the two tires together. And it comes with these two other bits, 2 bolts and a bracket. You could use a washer if you didn't have that. So in addition to that, you're going to need some sort of a wrench. I use this socket wrench, ratchet. You'll need a drill and the right size bits, of course. The first 2 screw holes you want to put into the tire, or for this bit of hardware to go through, and you want to center it, and you want to do the exact same thing to the other tire. And of course you'll have to get the right size drill bit so that this will be able to be pushed through the holes that you've made. So go. Good. Okay, so now we have 2 tires with the proper holes in there. So you want to put this now into the tire, but through the inside. So you can see that they're coming through. There, got them straight through now. And so we're going to put the other tire so it matches up with those holes. Set these 2 holes on to match this one here. And so as you can see, it's gone through there and into the other tire. It's looped like that so it will not be pulled through. And on the other side, you see they're coming through there. All right, so now we have the 2 tires connected. And we have the loop side in here. And the prongs sticking out on this side here. So the next thing you're going to have to do is taking these pieces of hardware, taking this one and putting them over the prongs, like so. Then you'll just put those bolts on top. And so that's where this comes in, this ratchet. So I'm going to use it to snug those bolts right up tight in there. So there we go, we'll just place it on top and we'll start tightening it down. All right, now with that done, you should have your two tires stuck together pretty strongly. All right, so now what you want to do next is you want to put a couple of holes into the top tire, which allows you to mount chains to it and then up into the ceiling. Now, for the positioning of the holes, I would suggest a spacing of about like so. And in my situation here, they're about 16 inches apart. So at the line is where you're going to put your holes, again, centered into the tire. But do make sure that the hole is big enough to accommodate your bolt. So here we have the two bolts, and you'll need a washer. The washer, of course, is so that the bolt doesn't slide through. Okay, so the bolt will go through the top, and you might be able to just push it right through, but my situation, the hole's a little bit narrow, so because it has threads on it, you know, I'm able to just twist it in. Good, when you got it through a good ways, then you'll take the washer, put it on the other side, and then use the bolt to hold it in place. Just going to spin it on down. Okay, we got one in. Now the second one, we'll do exactly the same thing. Here we go. Okay, so what do we have now? Two bolts and two tires. They can be nicely hung now. Now, just to make it easy, I've just laid the tires down on the ground. I'm just going to move this down to 3 feet. And the angle of the chain should be about so. It looks like about between 30 to 40 degree angle. And I'm going to do the same for the other side. So this tells me how much chain I'm going to need for 3 feet off the ceiling and 2 feet off the ground. But I'm going to allow extra in case, again, somebody wants it lower. And of course, it's very easy to make it higher. You just hook it up to a link that's a little lower on the chain. And when ready to mount this into the ceiling, I highly recommend that you get a stud finder. Unless you have open ceiling, which is very easy to find a stud. Obviously, if you don't, it's not going to stay up there. I've got that first piece of hardware up in the ceiling there. Now I'm going to put the other one in about 4 feet away from it. Again, looking for where the stud is. Good. Now, so we're going to measure the next one to be 4 feet away from the first one. That ought to do it. All right, now it's time to cut the chain length. Now, like I mentioned before, I measured it up to be about 4 feet to be exact. But I'm going to cut 2 5-foot lengths just to give me the extra 1 foot to play with. So just measure that out. And with a pair of bolt cutters, I'm going to now cut the chain. There we go. And then I'm going to use this piece of chain to measure the next piece here. There we have 2 pieces of chain. Okay, now, so we're just going to hang the chain from the ceiling now. I've got the carabiners here stuck to the chain. Just hook it on. Now, you see I've got a little bit extra hanging here. Let it hang from this top rather than off the bottom, then it doesn't interfere with our practice. That's one. Now I'll put the second chain up. All right, so the last thing we have to do is hang the tires. So the tires are ready and waiting for you to use. Just for starters.